We're talking about how your show, it's like you got a lot of you got kind of a trio of villains now rising up. You know, we met a new one last week. And
Mr. Boss, Vaughn, Mr. Boss, and you got Blaine.
You got Blaine, yeah. So you know, your character, obviously he's got to deal with, you know, a lot of different cases and whatnot, but will he start to see maybe some of those intersections? Will we, the audience, see some of those plot lines starting to intersect more, and will your character maybe start to notice some of these things that are happening out there in the bigger world?
I think so. I think, you know, as you know, Bazio is working on the missing persons cases. Dale Bazio, missing persons from the band.
Yeah.
So she's working on that, and I think as we get further into that case, I think it may lead to Vaughn, to Max Rager, to that hierarchy. I'm not sure whether it'll lead to Major being involved or not. But right now, Clive is just tunnel vision. Clive just wants to, you know, solve the cases, and he just wants to figure out the meat cute situation.
Yeah,
and that's like the big thing on his plate right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not sure this season, maybe next season. I have no idea. But so far, from what I know, Clive is right now just focused on the meet cute situation, and obviously the cases of the week, and then his new romance with FBI agent Bazio.
Can you talk a little bit about that character? And it's funny because on this show we've had a couple times where people aren't what they seem, but she seems on the up and up. Should we trust that she is what she seems to be?
Yeah, so far. I mean, Clive, I think she does earn Clive's trust, and he helps assist her with her case as well. So he's getting pulled in that direction. He does get pulled in that direction too. How far it goes, like I said, I don't know. But yeah, they have a burgeoning romance. They really like each other. They respect each other, and they become each other's allies for their respective cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Going back to the meet cute thing, you know, I actually, you know, I really like as a viewer that sort of they're not letting that go, and that your character is not letting that go. And, you know, certainly Major has a lot on his plate, but how much will that continue to be a thing that there is this ongoing suspicion, there is this, you know, what's going on here for Clive? How much will that he continue to prod in that way?
Yeah, I mean, there's too many breadcrumbs for Clive just to ignore it, and the fact that it took his lieutenant's life. I don't. He just can't. He can't let that slide. He just can't live with that. So I think so. So he does keep pursuing it, and obviously he just needs to build a case. He needs more evidence, and that takes time just because he's so busy with the case. You know, the cases of the week and things like that. But I don't think Clive's gonna let that go until he brings it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working that case on his own. You know, outside of obviously he's not supposed to be able to. He's not supposed to touch the case at all. But I think he's not gonna let it go. I mean, he has a gut feeling. He's sticking with it, and you know, he's a pit bull with it. He's a hound dog with it. So yeah, he's gonna stay with it.
You know, there's always the question of when is Clive going to find out the whole truth? But I thought it was kind of a nice touch recently where there was kind of the follow-up the next week about her basketball fandom, for instance.
Yeah.
And him sort of keying in on that and her covering it up with a bit. You know, is it fun for you guys to have those little moments of, you know, him, you know, because her cover has a psychic gives her some leeway, but not all the leeway, so you have some more back and forth.
Well, I think it just shows how their relationship is building outside of them solving crime. They're becoming friends, and that was a thing that connected them. Sports. Wait a minute, you know about sports, and she had no idea that he knew about sports and that he was a fan. So what that leads to is more conversations outside of the case, and I thought that was a nice touch too. Because a lot of people always ask me, when is he going to say something? Like, how does he not know? I'm like, of course he notices. You know, I think he just decides not to say anything. I think in season 1, he tells her to not be so method. You know, obviously, I think he's just saying, I'm noticing you're being method with these situations, and don't be so method. But he left it like that. You know, he gets back to a tunnel vision ways and goes, let's solve this case.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as we get further on, he is gonna actually elaborate on a theory behind her multiple personalities each week.
Mm.
But it's I think, but being in it, Clive, it's really not a big deal to Clive. It's not a major thing. It's just one of those kooky things about her, and he never known her as anything other. But that's the only way he has ever known her,
right,
to be. So that's why it's not like the number one priority is let me ask Liv about her multiple personalities. He's not thinking about that.
Right.
He's not thinking about that.